Welcome to another episode of what we are now calling CHEBS. CHEBS. Yes. A pair of tits, chatting hobby, endless bollocks, and stuff. So, yeah. That's good. I like it. I think it's good. And,
it's just like a 3G presents.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
3D presents CHEBS.
Yeah, GGG presents CHEBS. And we need a sponsor. CHEBS, sponsored by. I'm going to approach Hooters.
Please.
I don't think it's going to go particularly well. But
please tell me that GGG is not a cup size.
Oh man, blatantly should be.
Please no.
we are Triple G, and we would like Hooters to sponsor our new podcast, CHEBS.
I have a large cup of tea here, but that is a cup too far.
Yeah, GGG is just like Christ, like that. You know that woman who died from getting massive tits. Can't remember. Lola Ferrari, I think her name was.
Oh no!
She got no, just over the top, and then she just died.
Go there. I remember her from from Eurotrash.
Eurotrash, man. Yeah, exactly. That's what.
Hello,
only place I've ever been from. Exactly.
Oh, the 90s were weird. They were amazing, but weird.
They were a little bit weird. Anyway,
I missed them. Good music, good films.
These days, but today we are going to talk a little bit about the 40k Dataslate update. Although Matt couldn't give a fuck.
I really don't. 10th is too much of a betrayal. They're in a balanced Dataslate, and I was like, never needed those back in the day.
Talk about this is what we're going to talk about. We're not going to go in depth into the Dataslate because I don't see the point, and other channels have done it a lot more and a lot better.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is basically look at the Dataslate, what it means, and talk about why GW are basically so bad at their jobs. Because this Dataslate just shows me that 10th was just an absolute joke. The launch of 10th was just an absolute joke because this new Dataslate they've done changes absolutely shitload. So we'll get into this straight away, and then we'll talk about something more fun afterwards. So yeah, basically on the 20th of June. GW released the new the new 40k Dataslate that's meant to basically, and if you can hear my fan in the background, I apologise, it's boiling hot.
I literally just turned mine off. It's about 30 degrees in here.
I'm not turning. No, fuck that. I'm not turning it off. My snake tank's on, and it's very very warm, so that's not happening. But the Dataslate came out, and it's essentially such a big change that it's basically what we're looking at is 10.5. Not 10th. The rulebook that you bought or may not have bought, but the rulebook that most people have and that GW are still selling is now pretty much completely redundant from a rules perspective. They've changed that much of the core rules. They've changed the way devastating wounds work again. They've changed movement rules. They've changed which stratagems can be used and when. And while one might argue that these are all good changes that are needed for the game, I would argue that you should have just got your job done the right time, first time round.
Yeah.
Don't expect people, because basically they released 10th and it was a beta. And it's like, now we've given you the full, like the proper version. It's like, yeah, all right, you've given us the proper version, but you've released 10 codexes.
Yeah, really? Already?
I think they're on 10th with the Sisters and the Gene Stealers that are out now. I think they're on 10, yeah. And they're, largely useless as well. Because it's not just the points vote rules that have changed, they've changed the rules as well. The Adeptus Mechanicus, they've more or less rewritten most of the codex. Nearly all the weapons have changed. So the weapons profiles that you have are completely redundant. Detachments have changed. The Protector Imperative, they have made some changes to the detachments. So on one hand, they've made wholesale changes and we're like, okay, well, you've accepted that the game has problems in that it's shit and not fun to play. And you've done your best to make balanced changes to make the game more fun to play, or at least more fun to play in a competitive environment, because these are all very much competitive, balanced changes that people were saying, basically my army was never winning at tournaments, so we've tried to change that, because that's the only way that GW actually thinks of the game. They don't think of it in any other way other than competitive. This is all matched play. If it's not competitive, GW basically says, right, it's a framework, go and do it yourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, while that flew back in Rogue Trader because of the amount of depth that people put, that our retrospective showed that was put into it, you don't put that depth into it these days. So you don't have any right to turn around and say that it's a fucking framework. I shouldn't have to make your game for you. This isn't like that. So they've made a shitload of changes. I think the actual bits that have changed is like a 7-page like document that covers all of the different factions, because they've made a few changes to a few factions, bumped some, dropped others. Like, for example, tank shock's changed. So from now on, when you do tank shock, it goes into the toughness of the vehicle, not the strength. Because people were just basically going, right, well, my Dreadnought's got these bloody fists that are strength 16, so I'm rolling 16 dice, doing mortals on 5s, lol. Whereas the best thing to do would just be fucking get rid of mortal wounds, because they're shit.
It is a shit mechanic. It's an absolute cop-out.
Just because you can't have the granularity in the game because of the way that you've made it, you've invented this mortal wounds bollocks, which is just designed to delete units, and all that happens is people will try and spam it. I've said time and time again, you should be able to take Warhammer 40k, take any army, go up against any other army, and provided you've not been a complete fucking noob and just taken like the very worst stuff or stuff that you can't do anything, then you should have a chance of winning the game. And that's not the way it is at the moment.
Like, even if someone's taken a super heavy, they've basically nerfed their tactical flexibility by not having as many units as you do. So, in theory, as long as this super heavy that they've got doesn't delete most of your army in the process, you should win an objective game.
I think there shouldn't be anything such as an auto take for an army. You know, like you take this every single time. Now, for certain scenarios, yes.
Yes, yeah, because that's what they're designed for.
That's what they're designed for, but there should not be you take this and you pretty much win the game. That is fucking retarded. It's bad game design, and GW should do better. I know you want to sell your pretty toys at expensive prices. You know, that's not the way that I think you should run a game. They've done this balance, and basically nearly all the Sisters of Battle went up by 25%. I was watching Liam's stream that he was doing with Joe, and he was saying the game that he played last week with what was supposed to be the Codex was a 2,000 point game.
I saw a very quick update from him from on his Discord server flash up on my desktop notifications earlier on. It said, "I'm still not in the mood to do hobby stuff, but," and then it flashed before I could read the rest of the message, and I was like, "Oh, somebody's grumpy. Somebody's grumpy."
He called GW cunts again, Matt. He gets away with it. It's not fair.
The thing is, like,
it's because he's got a sexy face and a mighty beard.
I mean, hey, we got sexy faces as well and beards.
Nobody will ever know.
But like, it's an old saying and not entirely PC. But it's like, you call a spade a spade. Like,
no, absolutely. It's cuntish to do this and to still be selling the 10th edition Codex. It is cuntish to have released a Codex Adeptus Sororitas and to have all of the points changed on release.
It's not even been out a month or 2 weeks even.
I don't think it's even that 2 weeks, mate. I think it came out this weekend.
They votanned it on 9th.
It's not good enough. Custodians have all dropped, and they've benefited from the Devastating Wounds changing, because what happens basically, because GW keep complicating the rules, they changed Devastating Wounds so it's something else, which meant that the Custodes armor saves didn't work against anymore, because Custodes armor saves only worked against Devastating Wounds. It's just like, GW, you just keep digging these holes for yourself. Stop over-complicating the fucking game. Every single time they come out and they go, this is the most simple game ever, we've simplified, what was it? Oh no, simplified, not simple.
As soon as you have to start saying nonsense like that, you know you fucked up and you're covering.
And it's like, bullshit. This is going to be the least lethal game ever we've done.
How's about you don't make the core rules as simple as you can, and you just do a decent in-depth core rule set like we used to have, and then the Codex itself can afford to be more simple because it just plugs into a more complicated rule set, and then you don't have to fucking go on loads of weird convoluted rules to try and fix the stuff that you've done with an overly simplified rule set which doesn't have enough moving parts for you to easily adjust it to fix whatever shit you broke in the first place.
Exactly that. It's the thing is, obviously they're desperate for it to be a competitive, for it to be an e-sport, and for it to be that, it's never going to be the game that you and I want it to be, Matt. That's going to be more like Horus Heresy and stuff like that, which for the record, since it came out 2 years ago, has had precisely one update. It could do more, but it's had one update. So the game is fairly stable. There's probably
you mean a FAQ update kind of thing?
A FAQ update, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, people would argue and say that it could do with more, but it's in a better.
More, but the fact of the matter is, the core state of the game is more stable than 40k.
Yeah,
and obviously they care about 40k a lot more. So yeah, Adeptus Mechanicus, nearly everything's gone up in points cost.
If they cared about it a lot more, they should have done a better job in the first place.
Oh, you think so? The game should have been balanced on fucking release. I said this when it came out. When they did those indexes and we saw how bad they were, I was like, you are basically buying a beta. You're buying a beta or you're playing a beta of a game and they're going to fix it as time goes on. They used to do it before with Chapter Approved, where they had rules that they were suggesting and then later those rules would become actual rules.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened here. Last time, there was rules they put in the balanced data slate that they've now adopted as proper core rules. And it's just like, I mean, I just wouldn't want to play fucking 40k. I just look at this mess and I just be like, I don't want to play 40k. I don't want to play it. It's ridiculous. There's so many different models. There's so many different points. There's so many different changes. Have you downloaded the latest FAQ? Might as well throw away your core rulebook because the rules in it aren't the fucking same anymore. It's pathetic. GW, sort it out. You are meant to be the best. I know you're not the best games makers at all by a long shot, but you're meant to be the best overall in the community.
That's why you charge so much.
That's why you charge so much. It's premium products. And
That's why people play it.
We know the models are good, but the games are shit. Not all of them, but 40k, your core game, is absolute shit. It is. I just wouldn't want to play it. I can't try and get Kirsty to play this game. She never fucking speaks to me again.
Yeah, that's why. That's it. Marriage cancelled.
Exactly, mate. It's ridiculous. So yeah, loads of points have changed. Most factions have just had points dropped. Chaos Space Marines have just had points go up. Basically, you can tell what was the most recent released codexes by whether the points have gone up or gone down, which is another point against GW because they're always reacting to old data.
Yeah.
So they're balancing the game based upon what it was like 6 months ago. Not based upon what they're releasing in the next 6 months. So Imperial Agents could come out next month or whenever it's coming out and completely derail all of this. Completely.
What? How appropriate for an assassin.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I mean, put it this way. This is how fucking broken the game is, yeah? So I kept talking about how, due to the cults, there was no point in ever taking Acolytes with anything apart from hand flamers. Because they're just better in every single way.
Yes. Because
GW couldn't fix that, they made Acolytes with hand flamers a separate fucking data sheet. I'm not even kidding, mate. A separate data sheet in the codex.
At what point do you just kind of have to go, okay, look, we tried this.
Exactly.
It was a nonsense. Here's your war gear points back. We're sorry that we messed it up for you. Knock yourselves out. The last 30 years were better than we are.
Yeah. So Acolyte hybrids with auto pistols are 1 point cheaper than Acolyte hybrids with hand flamers. So I'd still take the hand flamers every single time because 1 point is nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing. But they made 2 different data sheets. You can't say that you're the best. I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous. So unless they've nerfed hand flamers in some way, which they might have, I've not looked, to be fair, because I have no interest in really paying 40k. I love paying my armies, and one day the game might be worth playing again.
Well, they've already been nerfed. They've already been nerfed by several editions because there's no template for them, so you can't hit multiple units with the things anymore anyway.
They've been hammered. Some knights went down in points cost. The Votan were completely left alone, which makes me think there's probably the next codex.
Fair enough.
Necrons had 2 units go up, one of which you'll be pleased to know is Wraiths, but I don't take those anymore anyway. So
good, fuck those guys.
The Orcs got hit because the Orcs were like, when they released 2 codexes and one's really good and one's really shit. And I think this time it was Orcs and the Custodes.
Yeah.
And the Custodes was awful and the Orcs was, apparently too good. So the Orcs got nerfed and the Custodes have gone up. Space Marines more or less left alone, apart from they basically increased the transports by 1, so you can always take a full-size squad and a captain because they want to sell
the transport capacity.
Yeah, the transport capacity.
Oh, that's pretty much what they did in Heresy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they've done it before in previous editions as well. Tau went down across the board pretty much, or like these changes. Not all the models went down, but all the models that were changed went down.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's, as I say, I admire the fact that they want the game to be balanced, or they want the game to sell whatever models they want to sell, whatever way you look at it. But just fucking do it on launch. Just do it on launch, bin off the fucking codex system, and if you're going to make a few changes to the game as the game goes on, do it through supplements. Because buying a codex is just completely pointless. Buying the rulebook is just completely pointless. Make it all online, and you can change it to your heart's content.
Nah, they'll lose too much money. in not selling books?
I mean, mate, I don't know. Obviously, not being inside GW, I mean, obviously they sell some books, but I don't know how well. Why would people still buy books? I mean, why?
Because they're supposed to.
Because GW directs it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To me, it's just either sell the code so people can use it in your stupid app or something. But this is just. I mean, put it this way: they did a video to talk you through this Dataslate. Now, you've not seen any of this because
No.
you've got 40k. How long do you think the video is they made to talk about the changes that they made to 40k?
Half an hour.
Half an hour?
Half an hour?
Double it.
What?
It's an hour and 6 minutes.
Did they even do videos that long talking about 40k when it was launched?
No. It is the longest video I think I've ever seen from GW. Yeah, Meta Watch, one balance data sheet update. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 53 seconds.
Can you see the design studio staff actively sweating as they talk on the video?
There's one American chap and there's one very, very British chap. And the difference, the dichotomy between them is amazing. But they say one of the things they say is like, oh, it's easy enough to put a piece of paper in your codex. And I just got Activision Blizzard, don't you own a mobile phone vibes? So I don't want to put a fucking piece of paper in my codex.
No, I shouldn't have to.
I don't want to play Diablo on my mobile phone, you fucking cunts.
Eddie!
So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a matter of time till they bring out 11th, and then they're probably just going to do the whole thing all over again. They never learn, and we never learn either because we keep fucking playing it, and it's not been worth playing since 7th.
No, we don't keep playing it. We haven't played it since 9th.
No, I mean, we as a collective.
Oh.
You know, not our pseudo gaming group that we kind of sort of had and is sometimes active because we're all adults and we've got lives. But in general, people just keep falling for this shit. How many times has GW turned around and gone, oh, it's better, it's simple, you can play it in an hour, blah, 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 blah. And it's all bullshit. Because the game's too big, in my opinion. There's too many factions, there's too many units in those factions, and it can't be balanced. This game cannot be balanced because it was never meant to be balanced. Because it's meant to be a fun narrative game, not a fucking competitive one.
True that.
So that's the way I basically see it, and I would rather they just made a separate game for competitive.
Yeah,
I understand the competitive thing, but just make a separate game for it.
Ever since I saw 8th edition, I've said that. They brought out 8th, and I was like, whoa! What the devil? Could you not have just done this for people that want to use this in a tourney setting and then just have like a decent rule set for the rest of us? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, hold my beer. Here's 9th. And I was like, that's not what I said. And they were like, okay, here's 10th. And I'm like, you're just winding me up now, pricks.
Like Matt for the quick hobby tips video, did not read the mission brief. I mean, obviously, the mission brief for GW is always going to be sell more models.
Profit. Like the underpants gnomes.
Yeah, exactly. Get more people playing, sell more models. It is always going to be. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. You're a business. I get that. I'm not saying you're not allowed to make profit. You make disgusting amount of profit. And to be fair, you share it with your staff. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I get that. Fair enough. You are a business. But some of the things you do are absolutely baffling. And one of those is releasing a 10th edition, your hallmark edition, that's absolute shit. And most people come out and say it's absolute shit, to the state that you have to release this much of a fix only a year into its life.
Fix? With the little quotey fingers?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, people have been saying that, you know, what's been done is good. You know, the people that do actually play and stuff like that. Not all of it, but, you know, most of it is pretty good and well thought out. But the fact of the matter is this is a year into it after half the people have bought their codexes. Everybody's bought the main rule book or the box or whatever. And all right, yeah, it could be argued that the rule book is free technically in the box and people bought Leviathan for the models, but that's not the point. The product that you are selling at the moment to play your game does not show you how to play the game because it's all wrong, and that's not good enough. You know, and I think at the moment, if I venture onto the dreaded Warhammer website, and
don't do it to yourself.
I'm not going to look at the sisters. I've given up on that.
Don't look at the site.
Oh God, the rulebook isn't even on the start here thing. I'm sure they sell it. It wouldn't be called Leviathan though, would it?
No.
Necromunda, Blood Bowl, all better games. Horus Heresy, much better game.
Yep.
they must sell it. They can't be not selling the 40k. With the search on this, it wouldn't surprise me. It's still absolute wank.
It's crapping it.
See, another thing to make you laugh. You know the Pariah Nexus cards that they've just released.
Not really.
I don't think they're actually out yet. I think they were pre-ordered, and they were meant to be like another fix for. It's like another season of 40k. So it's like different mission types and things.
Are they wrong already?
They're wrong already. Already, they got a day 0 or day minus whatever.
Mad, absolute bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what, man? I can't find this rulebook.
I can't see one either. They've got the starter sets, those 3 starter sets, and
I'm wondering if they might have bought it. Which, I mean, to be fair, I will give them credit for that at least. Maybe they listen to Liam. Oh no, here it is. Warhammer 40,000. It's called a core book. That's why.
Oh.
£42.50 to you, sir. And all of the core rules are fucking wrong. Oh, that's right, because it's got less stuff than Leviathan, hasn't it? Because Leviathan technically had the Crusade stuff for Tyranids. Like the first supplement they did, Leviathan. So, yeah, £42.50 for your rule book. Still selling it, and it's not right. It's not the same. Yeah, that shit don't fly for me, dude. I don't like that. I think that's poor. But, you know, I mean, if it makes 40k better for people to play, I guess it's better than nothing, but it just... They shouldn't be making their game like this. They should be doing better.
Yep.
And I appreciate the guys are probably putting in effort and everything like that, but I don't care. It's not good enough. Because I'm a grumpy grognard, and I say so. So, in something that you actually liked today, obviously it is Monday, we got shown the new Malstrain Alpha.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Which you like and I hate.
Yeah. But you hate a lot of things, so that's fine.
I do hate a lot of things, Matt. Yeah, I'm fairly. I will freely admit I'm fairly hard to please. My autism means that I can find a fault in nearly anything, and I will talk about it. There's very few things that I think, oh, that's just absolutely perfect. Like the Mechanicum for Heresy, I couldn't see a great deal wrong with. But even then, there was a couple of things that was like, I wouldn't quite have it like that. But I love them overall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this Malstrain thing, I can't get over that stupid fist.
The club fist.
It's just stupid. Absolutely. I look at how this could move around, and I'm just like, I mean, maybe there's another option for it. I don't know if it's plastic or resin. They don't say.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell without getting like a 360 of the actual thing.
I was going to say, I could do with a better view because you can't see the back legs and stuff, and you can't see the arms. But going on what it is at the moment, I mean, I don't like these Malstrain things. I just don't like them.
I do. They're magnificently gribbly and horrible.
Yeah, but they're magnificently gribbly and horrible in a kind of low definition, not very impressive way. Like, I just think they could be just done so much better. Like, I imagine somebody could do this concept as a 3D print 10 times better than what's been rendered in plastic here. But as I say, I'm perpetually grumpy. So someone right, absolutely. Yep, someone
perpetually grumpy.
I am perpetually grumpy. It's true.
It's better than being a professional Russian. Show my age there. FPS Russia was always a great watch on YouTube.
That was loads of fun. I wish to shoot all of these weapons.
He really did. I don't know how he managed it, but there was one episode that he did, like FPS Russia. He had a Bofors autocannon.
Yep, that's loud.
That you sit in the fucking thing, and he was just like moving it around with like the electric controller. It was like
I don't think it got delivered by UPS.
No, I think he knows people who know people. Fucking autocannon.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's a great deal really going on with 40k. I can't think of anything. Can you think of anything?
I try not to think of anything when it comes to 40k.
Can you think of anything fun with Heresy or anything like that? Goodbye to War Scroll Builder. Oh, the Age of Sigmar version. Of course, there'll be a new app. I mean, we'll need to pay for. What do we need to pay for it separate on top of the 40k one?
That's a different game, so probably.
Might do a discount. Probably come with the Warhammer Plus thing, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah.
That's something else that's almost a complete joke at the moment. When was the last time we had an animation from Warhammer Plus?
I don't know. Again, I've kind of stopped paying attention to that. Yeah. They seem to be doing stuff for it in seasons, so I suspect we'll just get a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, you mean animations in seasons?
Yeah, that's the impression that I kind of get. So there'll be nothing on it for a little bit, and then they'll just be like, okay, go, and then it'll be like, bush, dish, 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 dish.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we keep saying there's stuff to come and everything like that, but we ain't seen any of it yet. I don't know. It comes out until I get my free model, and then I might make a decision on whether I'm going to quit it or not, because I don't actually watch the damn thing anymore. every now and again I log on and I just catch up on all the battle reports or anything like that. But other than that, there's nothing that I can't really get on YouTube and better.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I feel about it. But yeah, Age of Sigmar is right upon us. I did see an article from Spiky Clickybait, Spiky Bits, saying that apparently pre-orders are down on what they expected, which wouldn't surprise me because Age of Sigmar has never been as popular as 40k, and apparently the what do you call them? Account managers have been chasing their accounts to get them to order more because GW maybe made too many. And I saw earlier that when not again, yeah, another Dominion. And I saw earlier that when somebody was quizzed about, it was on a Wayland Games post, and someone said, "Oh, are you confirming like numbers for pre-orders and stuff like that?" And Wayland said, "Oh, no, we don't have that information yet," which suggests to me that maybe Wayland Games isn't ordering as many as people would. I think after Dominion, people maybe just haven't got the faith in the products, so could be interesting to see. Maybe I'll get myself a cheap copy of Skaventide in 5 months when it's not sold.
Yeah, maybe. Because you like your Skaven, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the box looks good. I'm not going to lie. I think the box itself. If we're going to talk about the box quickly, because we've not really talked about any of it, have we? I think the box. I did a little video, but I think the box looks fairly decent, to be honest. You get the new clan rats look really nice, and apparently they're all 2-part models, which is exactly what you want out of a horde army. You don't want to be pissing about with separate arms and stuff like that. I think a 2-part model is really good.
Yeah.
The Stormcast Eternals they're a mixed. I mean, the way I felt about it really is they've redone a load of the old stuff from the first box, the first edition of Age of Sigmar, which looks okay. But then the new stuff, where they're not just updating something, looks really nice. Like, there's a lot of it, and I'm like, well, I like that just as a model. Like, I don't play Age of Sigmar, but I'd get that and just to paint it kind of thing. So I might have a trawl on the old eBay and see if anybody's selling off individual bits, because it's 160 quid, not between 15 and 20% off from a discounter. It's going to be £30 off roughly. £130 is still a lot of money for something that you're not going to use to its fullest. So certainly don't think I'll be buying the full box, but I think it looks all right. A bit of a mix. The Stormcast Eternal stuff's okay. I don't like the new winged dudes, but I don't like the GW's flying models. And I'm not that much on the Liberators, the updated versions of the old chunky dudes. The Skaven are pretty nice. I don't like the thing that the Warlord's riding, but the Grey Seer is really nice. I think the Warlock Engineer is great. Yeah, it looks Skaven-y. Again, like, you get down to the Rat Ogres, and I don't really like those. I think they're a bit over the top, a bit Age of Sigmar-y. There's an old world aesthetic, and there's an Age of Sigmar aesthetic.
Oh, right, yeah.
And those lean slightly over to the Age of Sigmar aesthetic for me, but everything else is really good. And if nothing else, it's a good way to get a load of clan rats. It's like, what, 40? Oh, no, it's probably in the contents up top. Oh, Scott, all the way to the top. It just says 50 Skaven miniatures. Very handy. Well, we can actually extrapolate that to be there are 40 clan rats, because I can see there's definitely not 20 of anything else. So yeah, 40 clan rats. And even if you just wanted like a load of say you're playing Old World and you just want a load of clan rats to bulk out your Old World army, because that's what you need, blocks of clan rats in like Warhammer Fantasy. They're probably going to be going for like, I don't know, 20 for 20 quid or something, because people will buy the box and break it up. So you'll have options and they'll look all right. So again, if I was to see this at a discount and it was down to like 80 quid or something, I might be like, yeah, I'll probably pick it up and then get rid of what I don't want. But overall, it's not a bad box. It's got the nice little spearhead bit in it, and one of our commenters says today they wish they could get that separately. And again, I would urge you to go and look on eBay, because I'm sure people would be flogging that off separate. As to whether the game's any good or not, we'll have to wait and see, because I've never really been that interested in Age of Sigmar. It's up for pre-order. Kirsty has expressed some interest in the new Sassy Nurgling that's coming out. So I'll probably have to fight Suggs to the death for that in GW.
I'm sure they'll do more than one. You'll be fine.
Hopefully.
But the funny thing is, they're announcing them now, but we've seen them on that Australian website for months.
Who knows? Yeah,
they've been out for pre-order for months.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. It's just not a clue. As I say, last one I got from Australia was Blitzball. So we're doing a product review on that soon, as well as the Kyuflery paint caddy thing that I kept seeing on Facebook and eventually caved and went, oh, I'll buy it. And it's actually quite good.
Oh, so, nice.
Do a full review of that. But But yeah, I think that's about it for moaning at GW for now, till they do something else stupid, which is only a matter of time. Let's be honest. You wanted to talk about some Armada woe, because you picked up one of the last copies of Armada in Corset in the UK, which is
apparently, yeah. I'm sure there's some floating around in some actual shops somewhere, but yeah.
I was tempted, but I was just like, look, you just get one Victory class destroyer.
You know what you get.
So small Star Destroyer, a Corvette, and a Nebulon B frigate. And I was just like, that's not enough to play with.
No.
And I looked at the expansions and I was just like, nope, no point. Unless they do another reprint, there's just no point. I'll get the Star Trek one instead.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's like, yeah, like it popped up on my email and it was like, eBay, you may like to look at these because you looked at Star Wars Armada, and I was like, okay, what the devil? And it's like the Imperial Raider expansion pack, which is one. It's kind of like the blisters the same size as the old ones that you got the snub fighters in.
Yep.
I think so. It's like a standard size blister, not even like a big cardboard box kind of unit. And it's got like a little very cool looking Imperial Raider in there, which is like a smaller, a very titchy looking Star Destroyer kind of thing.
I got about 3 of them. They were really good.
Don't rub it in, all right? I ain't got any. And I believe they were available for like 20 quid from like from a lot of places. 30 quid at the most. On eBay, it's $202.
No.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gone up by like a factor of 10. There's also a Gladiator class Star Destroyer, which I think looks horrific in design. Star Destroyers are supposed to be nice and triangular. They're not supposed to look like a triangle with a bite out the front. Yeah, it looks crap. Yeah, and that's actually a boxed one, and I think they were like, what, 40 quid maybe?
Yeah, they're about 40 quid.
$299.
Okay. Ouch. I mean, there's an Imperial Star Destroyer here. Oh no, it's Victory class. Oh dear. 50 quid. Ouch.
That's the standard one, ain't it?
Yeah, it's the one you get in the core set.
Yeah, the other one's what, Imperial class?
Honestly, mate, your best. See, if I'd hung on to my Armada, I could make actual bank now, but I just couldn't be asked. I sold it all. I got a good price for it. I got about 250 quid for it.
Yeah. Kind of sucks. That's the point.
That's still available, but not much. And even what there was, I mean, because of the price hike that happened with Fantasy Flight, it's quite expensive. So 2 Rebel transports, like the tiny little fucking Rebel transports, 30 quid.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people are selling up Armada now, by the looks of things. There's a lot of fleets online. Lot of fleets. Yeah, prices have gone. And the problem is, like, some of the stuff was always really hard to get hold of.
Yeah, because it didn't support the game enough.
Because they didn't support the game properly. So just having a quick look. Looks to me like some people have been going via the 3D printing route. And they're selling 3D prints, from what I can see, under various names. But you get like a ISD variations for Star Wars Armada, 28 quid by now. It's quite clearly a 3D print.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean, to be fair, if that's the only way the game's going to be able to carry on, that's the only way the game's going to be able to carry on. It is a shame, but it's what happens when you don't support a game. But as I've said, unfortunately, because the new Star Wars likes to focus very much on feelings in hallways and not the cool shit like spaceships and aliens, Fantasy Flight kind of out of fucking luck.
Yeah, there's no new stuff.
Well, there wasn't. No, I'm not even like being a dick about it. There was literally no new stuff to make models of. So I mean, even to the point that Fantasy Flight had to ask Lucasfilm permission to make up the Raider, the Imperial Raider, because it hadn't been in anything.
They did a good job. It's a nice design.
They did do a good job. Better than the actual people at Lucasfilm, in my opinion. Well, you can get a Super Star Destroyer for 135 quid if you fancy it.
Oh, delightful. Wait, was that the Super one?
Yeah, Super Star Destroyer.
That's actually cheaper than it was. It's usually about 200.
It came out like 180 to 200 quid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a bad price, but I mean, like, would you ever use it? That's my
problem with
Super Star Destroyer. It's like, it's still going to take up nearly half the table.
You could use it as like a booby trap, so you just kind of suspend it above a door and just like clip to the ceiling, so when people open the door, they suddenly just get like a and they just get completely shanked by a giant Super Star Destroyer. Such an impractical thing.
Yeah, it's just too big. I mean, like even in X-wing, when I used the Carillion Corvette Tantive 4,
Even
half the
that was
time
pretty chunky,
half the
wasn't it?
time I used it as a bloody objective of some description.
Yeah.
You know, rather than an actual thing that would move and fight and turn and get in the way of other ships, because that was just annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's a guy, as you say, Star Wars Armada Gladiator Star Class Star Destroyer, sealed, rare and out of print, £237.
You're mad. Fantasy Flight, what are you doing?
Well, it's always. I mean, to be honest, man, I've dealt with Fantasy Flight both as a hobbyist and as a professional, and they're a nightmare. They are a fucking nightmare when it comes to distribution and making new versions of stuff. And I'm not surprised they just turned into a card game company, because at least they can't fuck that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I mean,
I'm looking at these prices, and yeah, a lot of it is
bonkers.
Yeah, not good. Not good for anybody who's trying to complete fleets or anything like that.
Piss
There's a few
taking
core
bonkers.
sets about. I will be honest. There's if I did want to get a core set, there are a few around. But as I say, it's just with what you would get in.
But there's none of the good stuff.
No, I mean
none of the interesting things.
I would want, at the very least, you would want an Imperial Star Destroyer, wouldn't you? You know, to go for a tiddly little victory, and then you need to get a couple of decent sized Republic ships. Well, the Victory's a lot smaller. It's not tiny, but it's a lot smaller.
Okay.
There's a dude who's like selling a fleet, £300. That might be your best way to go at the moment. But I think the worrying thing about this is just how, if you look at Armada anywhere other than eBay, how little of it is there is about.
Yeah, that's fuck all. I think it was scarce anyway for a little while, and with the announcement, then what there is people have kind of snapped it up pretty quick. Apart from the really shit stuff that people don't want.
Because you're either going to get to, if you're going to get to play it, then it's. I can't. What I'm saying is, I just can't see them reprinting it. I just can't. I don't think they will. So, unfortunately, I think that's probably it for Armada, and you are going to have to pay these insane prices.
Alas, yeah.
And I've just looked on. So you can get an Imperial Star Destroyer for £60. It's Thrawn's one, the Chimera. But when you go and look at it, it says usually dispatched within 3 to 7 months. Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on getting that one.
No, not so much.
So yeah, it's a shame, because they did some really cool stuff, and they did like the prequel stuff as well. Because obviously that, because George Lucas was smart, had a load of really cool spaceships and shit in it.
Yes. And a lot of them look like proto versions of the stuff that we saw from the other three, which was good.
I can't fault with the prequels was the design on like 99% of the stuff.
Yeah,
looked really, really cool. The proto Star Destroyers looked fucking amazing.
And confusingly, that the Rebels used.
They were being used by the Rebels, exactly. Before the Dark Times, before the Empire.
Yes, Alec.
Now people just say before the Dark Times, before Disney.
Before Disney, yeah. That was one of the things that really disappointed me when I went and watched The Force Awakens. I was like, look, I've got a reasonable Star Wars background. Like, obviously, I grew up with the original 3 films. I've seen the 3 prequels because we suffered through that. And in hindsight, really not that bad at all.
No, not at all. I watched Phantom Menace at the cinema a few weeks ago, and with some heavy edits, that film is very much salvageable. Unlike the sequels, which are fucked from.
Yeah, they're crap. We just don't even.
No, I don't want to. Talking about it makes me sad, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, and it's like look, I don't have a great deal of grounding in like the comics or the novels, because I didn't give that much of a shit about Star Wars as I got older and found like 40K and stuff, and the grittiness of like a British sci-fi kind of I found far more appealing than like the all the city designs from Star Wars for aliens and stuff. That is not overall. But I did have an extensive grounding of playing the games throughout like the 90s and like the early 2000s. So I played X-Wing, I played TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I had like all the expansions for both. I had like X-Wing Alliance, I think it was. So I knew about a lot of the expanded universe ships, like the assault gunboat. I think there was a missile gunboat as well, like the TIE Defender. a whole bunch of other stuff like interdictor Star Destroyers, things like that. And it was all good stuff. And I really wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see, like, obviously, we went to see the new film, and I was like, okay, so we had X-Wings and Y-Wings in the original series, and they expanded them out to, like, A and B Wings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got, like, TIE Bombers, TIE Interceptors, you've got, like, TIE Advanced based on, like, Darth Vader's thing. I look forward to seeing all this stuff. And then they basically just redid the first film with different characters getting killed off, but the beats were pretty much the same, as they say.
Yes, they played it very, very, very safe.
Horrifically and disappointingly safe. I was like, it's Star Wars. You could have done whatever you liked, and you still would have made money because everyone would have gone to see it initially.
Well, and the sad thing is, they did do whatever they want. They did make money to start off with.
Yeah. And what was in it? The fucking X-Wings and TIE Fighters, and that was pretty much it. Just a slight redesign of each one.
I love the new Star Destroyer design, but we got practically nothing else, as you say, just a slightly updated X-Wing. And
yeah, it was so disappointing. I'm like, there's so much more that you could have done with spaceships in that. There's so much more you could have done with the entire fucking film, rather than just mirror A New Hope.
Yeah,
pointlessly. Like, what have you achieved? Nothing.
Totally agree.
Like,
I mean, even when, like, in the start of oh god, what's it called? The Last Jedi. You had that kind of couple of cool ships there, but that was the only time you really saw them.
Yeah,
and they never really made anything out of those either, from what I remember. So, I mean, the sequels very quickly became apparent that they were not going to be a good merchandising option, which is why they've been ignored to fuck.
Because they were shit films, and no one wanted to buy stuff to do with them,
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, no, absolutely. You know, you took it from making a brand which people were very, very interested in to making a brand that nobody gives a shit about, which is bravo, Kathleen
which
Kennedy,
is where it's finally got to now.
Yeah, well, I mean, now it's a streaming TV show that people laugh at.
Yeah, it's just
we haven't had a Star Wars film in 5 years. Their brilliant plan for the next film is to take one of the most hated characters, Rey, and make a film all about her.
She already got a film all about her.
Yeah,
she got 3.
She got a trilogy about her. So yeah, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, and
wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, they hired the woman they've hired to make the new Rey movie is a female activist, and the only thing she's made is some documentary films about how bad men are. And you know, to be fair, I mean, legit, because they're about Indian men, because she's of Indian origin, and in India, men are complete cunts to women. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them. And there's a lot of gang rape and all that kind of stuff, and you know, honor killings and that kind of thing. So fair enough, but that's not the woman that you want making Star Wars. I'm sorry, it just fucking isn't. Not if you want men to watch it. As you said, like, one of her hot favourite things to do is make men uncomfortable, and that's what. So I have no hope at all for the new film, and I just hope that Disney enjoy the few fans that they have picking through the ashes, because it's just been completely destroyed. I don't care about it. Same as Star Trek. It's completely gone.
It sounds very pony.
Pony, yes, it does indeed.
to quote the 90s.
I was just like, again. waiting for the cliff. I mean, dude, it just sucks. You know, I had the old stuff. I went and watched Star Trek 3 at the cinema. And that was fantastic.
Search for Spock.
Yep.
Very good.
Spock, William Shatner showing he can actually act.
Yeah, and a very unlikely Christopher Lloyd Klingon.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd Klingon. Yeah, absolutely.
And some seriously harsh character development for Captain Kirk, unfortunately.
Yes, exactly, as I say. Well, I mean, that informed the next few films and even into the Undiscovered Country, you know, massively.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that Star Trek just can't do now. It can't do character drama. Its idea of character drama is somebody sitting in a hall crying or something, you know, and just it's horrible. I mean, or just crying. Yeah, I mean, like Discovery got 5 seasons, and by the end of it, we still don't know who the people on the bridge are. We know nothing about them.
Did it really get 5 seasons? 5?
5 seasons, mate. That will go down as one of the great unsolved mysteries in the world, like the pyramids, the Bermuda Triangle, and how Kathleen Kennedy still has a career.
Wait, what? No, this is Star. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. This adjacent to Star Trek, but yeah.
Yes. Had Discovery got 5 seasons. I suspect it was originally funded for like 2 or 3, and Netflix had paid for it stupidly. And then after that, I suspect it was more or less just a saving face thing.
Oh, it was initially on Netflix, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Netflix paid for it.
And then it got moved.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
Netflix,
I bet they paid for it.
Anymore. Nobody fucking watches it.
No.
It was awful. I gave up halfway through season 4. I didn't even watch the last season. I didn't even bother.
I watched 2 seasons of it, and that was enough. I was like, you've clinged on to my favourite thing about Star Trek from the 90s and the 2000s. You've completely fucked it.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I don't care about your shouty, whingy, cryy, undisciplined crew. Your rabble that you've got.
Exactly. The ship of millennials.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. They're all just, not one of them's professional. Not one of them.
Not
awful.
at all.
Absolutely.
No offense, any professional millennials out there. I'm sure there's a few of you, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean Star Trek, Star Wars, completely destroyed. Time will tell on Lord of the Rings. If Jackson's involved, I hope for the best, but I fear the worst after seeing Rings of Power. And,
yeah, we'll see.
I think you should not go from the point of view that you always got the old stuff, and I think the same applies to Warhammer. Bringing it full circle, I guess. You know, you've always got the old editions. You can always break out 2nd, 5th, 7th would be my choice. You know, you can always, if you don't like New Necromunda, you can always break out the 1st edition and port over what you want and keep out what you don't want.
It just takes a little bit of work, but then most people who are going to be into the earlier editions are going to be old enough and capable enough to put the work in if they really want to.
Obviously, you've got the issue of like the old stuff not existing back then, but as you said, if you want to put the time in, then put that in there, and if not, then don't. I'd challenge somebody to do a worse job than DW have done of making it difficult to play.
Yeah,
it is so daunting. And when you think about this as a game that they're trying to get kids into, I'm just like, what? And it's not. The thing is, it's not daunting in the same way. Like the old 40k was daunting in that it had a lot of tables, you had to learn a lot of stuff, but the game experience was really, really, really satisfying.
Yes.
You know, the new 40k seems to be very simple, but they've made it awkward and complicated by there being fuck tons of it, and not particularly satisfying to play.
No.
So
less work, less reward.
Yeah, kind of. I honestly think that maybe they should just be like a model company and just let somebody else do the fucking rules.
They're just going to sit there and go, I remember when I had to do a targeting priority test and I could use a marker light to bypass that. And some kids like, what's a target priority test?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, you know, I remember when vehicles had vehicle location charts. All right, Granddad.
Yeah.
Oh, time to go to sleep.
Someone escorting back to the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
But, wrong.
No, it was like that, man. And as I was reading the compendium, which we're going to do really soon, a retrospective on it, hopefully before Sword and Sorcery, I was falling in love with 40k again because I could read the care that was being put into it by Mrs. Priestley and
Chambers.
No, I don't think Chambers was involved. A bit early.
I think he was.
Really? Are you sure?
I think so.
Before 2nd edition?
Maybe.
Damn it. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. You might be right. You might be wrong. We'll find out when we do retrospective. But like, yeah, Ansel and stuff like that. And Jez Goodwin's name comes up a few times and does some stuff in there. So, as well as Mr. Darren Matthews is credited.
Yes, our chum.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe we should have a chat with Darren.
Well, I might ask him. I don't want to put him out too much. Not that it's traumatic or anything for him, but I don't know how much he wants to talk about it. But I might throw the idea at him sometimes.
Yeah,
Mr. Matthews, if you do happen to be listening to our warblings, then you can always reach out. I'm always happy to chat. But other than that, I've got Andy Chambers lined up. I'll have a word with Andy very soon. Want to get a few things sorted and just. I've got a few things coming up, and we need to make sure that Matt doesn't go, Mr. Chambers, you're my favourite designer. I love you.
He'll be like the chap that I spoke to at the UKGE is being suspiciously quiet, and I'll just be like, you're like, yeah, it's best that he's that way.
Yeah, exactly. He's here for moral support or something. But yeah, no, Andy Chambers. There's lots of people. Oh, that's the other thing that I wanted to discuss. You're right. I did remember.
See, I thought I told you would. Was it
tangentially related to Games Workshop. I noticed that War Cradle Studios have snapped up James Hewitt and his Mrs. Sophie.
Oh, okay. Mr. AT himself.
Yes. They've been taken on by War Cradle Studios to develop, I don't know, something. Mainly
Something.
being put in charge of the dystopian universe. Because obviously, up till now, War Cradle, which is basically Welling Games, their gaming studio, has been full on focusing on dystopian wars because that's been selling, and quite frankly, everything else doesn't. And they're not a massive studio, so they completely abandoned the Lost World and their cowboy game. I can't remember right now. Wild West Exodus, in favour of making dystopian war stuff, and their new epic-sized game, Armoured Clash. But there was an announcement, this week earlier that James and Sophie have been taken on. I don't know if they're going to be working remotely from Nottingham or if they're going to be moving down to Essex. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I was just the only reason I remember this because James Hewitt's he's on my Facebook, and I was going to drag him in for a chat about the olden days and GW
and AT, please,
and what he's up to. And AT, yes, we'll mention AT, of course. You will be there. So yeah. And I, when I went playtesting with Modifius, I had a chat with Sophie and stuff. So they're good people, and I'm sure they'll do good stuff at War Cradle. But I just found it interesting because that's a bit of a jump ship from Modifius for both of them because they've been doing stuff there. So really, really interesting with some of the things that I know about Modifius. So
do they not freelance?
No, kind of. They had Needy-Cat Games, so basically he was freelancing at GW first of all.
Yeah,
and then GW took on James as a full-time games designer. And he got paid, let's just say, very poorly.
Well, he made one of the best games they've ever done, so that's clearly something wrong there.
He did a lot of really good stuff for them. He did Eclipse of Titanicus, he did Silver Towers, he completely reinvented Warhammer Quest and came up with that whole game system that was carried through the next load of Warhammer Quests. He also did Blitz Bowl.
Right.
So he's done some mighty fine work, and he is well-renowned. He then made Needy-Cat Games, which was his own games company, and he did a load more stuff. I mean, he did the Hellboy game.
Yeah, we got that.
He did a game for I can't remember their name now, but it was a Devil May Cry game.
Okay.
He did that. He's done a various few bits and pieces, and then he ended up at Modifius. Now, I don't think that was on a freelance. I mean, it might have been on James's part, but Sophie was actually head of their design, something or other. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what her email said when I was speaking to her. I didn't ask her when I actually went down there and spoke to her either. But yeah, she was fairly, fairly big in their sort of like games ecosystem at Modifius. And James was meant to be there, so I presume he was involved as well. So I don't know if they were freelancing at that stage, but this appointment by War Cradle does seem to be very much a employment, not freelance. I mean, I presume I would like to say that they're free to still work on their own stuff, but then I kind of know the guy who owns War Cradle, so I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. It could be interesting. Obviously, I have no sight of their contract or anything, but that could be an interesting one. But yeah, I mean, they do. James certainly does. I don't know what Sophie's done. I mean, I dare say she helps James with stuff, but James is well known, so it'd be interesting to see what they turn out for War Cradle. Certainly. I had Steamforged ask me for some samples of my writing, which I duly sent across. But the person that I deal with there is terrible at letting. I applied for a job there back in January. And I didn't hear anything, and then they came back to me like 3-4 weeks ago saying, "Oh, can you send over some writing?" I was like, "I didn't even hear that you got my application, but like, nice to know you're still thinking of me," kind of thing. And I sent the writing across, and I haven't got anything back from that either. So it's like, well, maybe I'll get a job. Maybe I'll get an email in free job saying, "Oh, you got a job," and I'm like, all right, fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah, please could I have a read receipt?
Yes. In future, I think if I'm emailing this particular person, I think I will put that on there. I didn't bother because I thought she's emailed me. Like the first time around, I was like, look, you've not emailed me directly. I've seen the posting. I've applied for a job. I don't necessarily expect to get an email back. It's nice, but I don't expect to. But the second time around, because she emailed me directly and asked me for something, I thought, surely she'll let me know she's got it. But
not so much.
Not so much. So yeah, just keep one eye on this for now, I suppose. But yeah. So that was another thing that's happened. And other than that, I've been working on my Trench Crusade stuff still.
Nice.
Waiting for that Kickstarter to kick off. And there's been a load of people going, "Oh, come on, they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. Have you seen the pictures? That's not common woke stuff." Was there some stuff going down with the Discord? Yes. Were there some woke people on the Discord? Most likely it's Mag28. Did they get overzealous and ban a load of fucking people? Probably. Did they tell Thomas the truth? I have no idea. Is Trench Crusade, as it appears now, woke? I don't think so. And I jump on the Discord every now and again, and I don't see any woke shit on there either. And at the end of the day, your definition of woke is going to change. It's going to be different. Your definition of woke, Matthew, is different to my definition of woke. And it's certainly different to other people's definition of woke. So, everybody's got their own definition. All I can say is that Trench Crusade, and I'm looking at this piece of artwork right now, and I'm actually going to save this and put this in the video because it's sick. Matt, have you seen this?
I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going to have to go no.
Go on the Facebook group on Trench Crusade and look at the piece of artwork that was posted 1 hour ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I've definitely not seen that.
Fucking ridiculous. I shouldn't be on Facebook. It's very rude of me, but I was trying to remember what that thing I was talking about earlier was, the James Hewitt and Sophie Williams thing.
Trench Crusade public group. There's some stuff in baggies. There's someone holding up a model. Am I in the right group?
Trench Crusade.
Is it by Matthew Muller?
It is.
Nice.
How awesome does that look?
It's nice and honourable.
That Mike Francini is one hell of an artist.
That he is.
Oh, it looks so good. You would never, ever, ever get anything like that in 40k these days.
No.
So yeah, when people say, is it woke? I mean, one of the posters a bit further down is some very, very, very scantily clad nun ladies. It's not woke. Are they being cautious, and are they being sensible and saying we don't want to exclude anybody and therefore everybody's welcome and all that kind of stuff? Yes, of course they are. They're a business, or they want to attract as many people as possible. They don't want to shut anybody out. So of course they are. They are going to do that. But the game ain't woke. Are there going to be woke people involved who might do various bits and pieces? Possibly. Maybe. As I said, it's all going to depend on your definition of woke. But I ain't seeing it. So all these people going, oh, it's woke, don't bother. I ain't seeing it. I'm really not.
He really isn't.
What it is fucking awesome. Oh man, that piece of artwork. So good. I've got my Heretic Warband all finished, more or less.
Oh, nice.
So what I did was I used when I worked at Wayland, I quite often get to pick through the bits box or whatever, damaged stock and stuff like that they can't sell. Maybe they'll give away. And I got some bits from what's the name? Weird, who make Malifaux, made a game.
It's Weird with a Y, ain't it?
That's right. Yeah, they made a game called fuck me, what was it called? Other Side, I think it was, or something. And basically, it was an attempt to make a miniatures game with pre-assembled miniatures. Okay. They're like board game miniatures, but they're soft plastic, a bit shit, and are massive overpriced. And it didn't do very well. And Wayland ended up with absolutely fuck tons of it that they can't get rid of. And the same with some other stuff as well. And basically, it was all put on sale ages ago, and they tried to get rid of it all. But when I was there, I basically got a great big box of these sort of like twisted dudes. Like, I'm not quite sure what they're meant to be. I've never actually called the Twisted, and I really wanted the water set because that was all Cthulhu-esque. But this was all that was available, so I took it, and I was probably never going to do anything with it. I used the portals in like Eldritch Horror games and things like that, but the rest of it just sat in a box. And then when Trench Crusade came around, I was like, ooh. So a little bit converting later, and these guys are part of my Heretic Warband, and I've got some bits from War Games Atlantic. And there is a video coming up soon where I can compare War Games Atlantic prices and quality to GW. I've also done an Antioch Warband with some bits and pieces. And it's just been fun to just throw some bits together and get some creativity going.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that, again, I don't think GW really inspires that creativity in the way they used to. Their kits are very bespoke now.
Yeah, not so much. Speaking of creativity, did you see the what was it a few days ago? Thomas posted the artwork for the Pit Locust.
Yes.
Trench Crusade.
I looked at that. I was just like, "Whoa, it's huge."
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, gearing up towards the Kickstarter now. He's been posting bits and pieces. It looks really good. I mean, I really like the aesthetic of it more than anything else. Not being a religious chap myself, I've got no dog in that fight, but it just looks really cool. It just looks cool. I'm just looking forward to making some stuff that I can just chuck a load of streak and grime on and just make it all look, dank as fuck. I was loading up I loaded up a plate of 3D printed bits to do my Trench Pilgrims warband. So I'm gonna run that through tomorrow. Have you used Chitto Box recently?
No, not since I tried to get it working in my garage and gave up.
What version are you using? Because the new version is incredible.
2 point something. It looked different to the one I was used to using, so maybe I have to use the one you're talking about.
You've got the one where it actually shows the build plate on it.
Yes, no, I have used that one.
That's right. Yeah, so that's really good. I was very impressed. It took me a while to work out how to actually move stuff, but because I think it's moved about a bit.
Yeah.
But the actual like when you go to make copies now, it asks you how many copies you want to make, which is you think it's a very basic thing, but it's not. And the auto supports are excellent. So, but yeah, there's some really good stuff in this Trench Crusade group. There's people converting bits from GW, War Games Atlantic, 3D printed bits, people showing the whole board.
Yes, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'd fully recommend people jump in. Honestly, I really would. Jump in, have a look, see if it's something you like the look of. And just don't listen to the naysayers who just scream about everything being woke. Because
fuck them.
It's not like that. I really don't think it is. And
there's no thinking about it. It's just look at the artwork, look at the concept, look at the weird nuns with most of their flesh showing. That's really impractical, but it's in there anyway. It's not woke in any way whatsoever. There was some Discord issues with their previous server. It all got a little bit political and weird. People got kicked out and banned. People are just still salty because of that, and they're just dumping on the game. For people that they know getting chucked out of a Discord server for saying things that people didn't like, and that's all it is. Like the game it's not political in any way whatsoever. It's not.
No, I don't think so. And I think one of the problems that it has is because it is very religious themed. It's going to attract a lot of religious people, and those people don't tend to be on the left, if you know what I mean. I don't want to generalize too much here, but because your setting is going to attract those kind of people, it's going to naturally go against the other side, if you know what I mean, and then it all kicks off. So celebrate what your commonalities are, which is wanting to do cool models. Don't aggravate people. Just, it looks great. Just jump in. It is going to be interesting to see how they juggle it, I think, in all honesty, because they've said, basically what they've said is you've got this really puritanical religious side, even more than Games Workshop. And then at the same time, you're also saying that you're celebrating people wanting to see their sexual identity and all that kind of stuff represented. It's going to be a very, very interesting tightrope to juggle. I really don't envy them it at all.
No.
And it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I still love it. I still think it looks amazing. And I have spent my last few weeks putting together about 24, 25 dudes, of which there will be pictures in this video. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm probably going to message Thomas in the next couple of weeks, see if I can get some information and do another video. Because I'm sure he's a very busy man. But yeah, maybe see if I can get a little bit of a scoop or something and do a little video about that, because I do want to keep pushing it. And there's some other people out there doing mighty fine work on the lore and stuff like that, which is why I haven't bothered doing that. There's a guy called Barking something, I think. I can't remember. And he's, I think it's Barking Bad, I think. And he's been doing some really great lore videos and stuff if you want to get into that. And other than that, you've got the stuff on their website. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to mention that, really. Yeah. And I can tell you here that right now that there are right-wing people, more right-wing than me. And I don't mean
we're quite central.
Yeah, we're very central. I don't mean, when I say they're right-wing, I don't mean that to say they're bad people. It's just that's where their viewpoints lie. Yeah. I absolutely believe you can be a good person, be right-wing, a bad person, be right-wing, a good person, be left-wing, a good person, be left. Bad person, be left-wing. That's what I mean.
That's it.
Cunts come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, basically, and colours. And, your political leaning does not necessarily make you a bad or a good person. It's as simple as that. It just doesn't. And I can tell you there's right wing and left wing people in French Crusade. Absolutely is. So it makes no difference from my perspective. But I just wanted to cover that, and I'll be getting my models done soon, so I just could keep an eye on that. What have you been up to? I know you finally got all your stuff undercoated, didn't you? You finally worked out your recipe, which hopefully you wrote down.
Yes. Yeah, I did. And then I adjusted it all. So what I wrote down is fucking wrong anyway.
Well, update it. I've done that in my book, which I've got in front of me. So I took the photos today for the video that I put up today, which is our hobby tips video. Plug. Check it out. And my Ultramarines. Excuse me. I'm ill again after Newcastle, mate. I nearly didn't do this tonight. I woke up on.
You sound fine.
Yeah, I had a lot of sleep today, and a lot of lozenges. I woke up. What was it? Monday today. Saturday. So basically, the day after, kind of, we got back from Newcastle. I woke up with the worst sore throat and fucking coughing my guts up. I was just like, I'm ill again. If I go out in public, I get ill. I'm just used to it now.
You've been too close to the Great Unwashed.
Sorry?
Too close to the Great Unwashed.
It's those fucking Northerners, I tell you. Fucking Geordies. Newcastle was amazing. I love Newcastle. I love Newcastle so much that I would actually go back there even if there wasn't a gig on.
To get ill even again?
Hopefully not. But there were some beautiful places there, and I really liked it. I like the city. It's my second favourite city to Nottingham. And Nottingham is a very small city. That's the main reason why I like it. But,
tough driving there.
Yeah, it got really... No, fuck that. It's 5 hours by coach.
I meant around Nottingham.
Oh, around Nottingham? No, do not drive around Nottingham.
Unless
you don't like money and you like losing it in fines for driving in a bus lane accidentally. And it's just the one-way system and everything's horrible anyway. But so the main plan is to shake off this cold thing by the time I have to go to London on Friday for devourment.
Oh, yeah.
The things I suffer from that. At which time I shall see Amrai. And
that'd be cool. Yeah.
And many other people that I've not seen for a long time. And then the week after that, it's fucking massacre in Manchester. So yeah, fun times. But it shouldn't affect Grumpy Godnar Gaming too much. I will get some form of content out every week, one way or the other. You're gonna hassle Adam for some more pictures, so I can do the UKGE one. You're gonna give me the audio files for last week, so I can get those done.
Yep. Or I'll get those done.
Well, it's up to you, man. Yeah, if you think you've got the time to get them done, do so. If not, I will. At the end of the day, you pass them back over to me. I'll do some final edits anyway. Although I did find your edits on the tips video pretty good, to be honest.
Cool, thanks.
I liked it, and I was a bit more ruthless with the first half of the video.
Okay.
Because it was literally like 23 minutes of your tips, 6 minutes of my tips.
Yeah, it seemed fair to me.
It's just like, maybe we don't need to go into that much discussion about KR multi cases. So I made a couple of cuts here and there, but it still seems to be fairly well received.
Okay, so now there's 3 minutes of my tips and 6 minutes of yours. No.
It's much. I think it's more like 20 minutes of yours and 6 of mine. I didn't hack that much out of it. Actually, I think to be fair, I can't remember what I got it down to. Let's have a look. That's the wrong channel. I've gained an extra subscriber. Cow Reviews has got 26 subscribers now.
Well done.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but the film review ecosystem is absolutely brutal. I know channels that have been going for a year that have got 50 subs. It's hard. Yeah, man, because just so many more people do film reviews, it's harder to break out unless you're Scottish and drunk all the time. So yeah, let's have a look. Latest video we did. YouTube. Why'd you make things so awkward? Here we go. Videos. Content. Craving content. So we've only got 43 videos and that 40 views in that video at the moment. 6 comments. But 100% likes. That's nice.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. But yeah, that video is 26 minutes in total. So yeah, probably I would say close to 20 minutes of yours, and then I rattle through mine in no time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to do some more piss take videos and stuff like that, and just chatting and things, and always more CHEBS.
I did bust out my my last 8 contemptors for Epic off of my infantry support sprues.
Okay, cool.
So I need to.
Did you ever get one of the battle forces, the battle groups things?
No, I didn't need them.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't bother. I think the only thing that I got from the most recent range of releases was a box of Fire Raptors.
Okay, I've got a load of aeronautical imperial space marine stuff.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't. I had.
Notice the cheeky fucking price rise on that. It's all gone up by 20%.
Yeah, of course it is.
Cheeky fuckers.
But no, actually, I did have some. I had the Tau versus Imperial Navy. I think I had that box for Aeronautica, which had like the lightnings in it, like the Voss lightnings, and I'm sure there was another Imperial craft which is escaping me, and that had like the Tau
They've got Griffons and they've got Storm Eagles.
That's it. Yeah. So I had 3 Xiphons and 2 Storm Eagles, and I realised I didn't have any Fire Raptors for ground support, so I was like, yeah, I'll grab a box of those, and that'll probably be it for flyers because I don't really want loads. Although I might keep an eye out for Storm Eagles if I ever do like an aerial assault company.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Really, it's nice to have options, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't really want to, because GW, one of the reasons why they have so many things in their armies is just so you have to take more stuff. So it's like, oh, I might want to take 6 of these rather than 3, and GW like, oh, you can do that. Just buy 2 boxes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like doing super heavies in fucking squadrons of 3 and then selling them in boxes of 2.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's just like, I'm not down with that, but it's what GW's going to do. At the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do. You either put up with it or you complain about it like we do. I mean, to be fair, it's not entirely inaccurate. But it's not like we have any female fans anyway, apart from Kirsty. So.
Yeah, true. My wife couldn't care less, so yeah.
Complete lack of interest. Silly boys, do whatever you're doing. Get on with it.
Oh, I suppose the other thing that's worth mentioning is the funny thing is for the Alien RPG, you're called the game mother.
That's such a simple touch, but I love it.
After the computer, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Yeah. It's notably alien, not aliens, but in the expansions there are colonial marines and stuff like that. Because I remember you saying that Modiphius had the Aliens RPG.
Modiphius had the Aliens license. I don't know. Licenses change all the time, but Modiphius was doing loads of that shit. I'm going to jump on their website. Let's have a look. Because I'll let this up. Oh, there's the game I play tested.
Are you allowed to talk about it now?
Yeah, it was called Cohor's Cthulhu Tactics.
Oh, I picked up the intro scenario for that while I was at the UKGE because it looks interesting.
Probably the one I play tested.
There
I had a few problems with it. It was okay.
Solo and co-op adventure wargame prologue. It's like a fairly chunky pamphlet.
Stuff on board or not, I don't know. It has some cool mechanics, but it had a few things about it that I did not like, and I hope they changed, but I might have to look into it.
Yeah,
This has been doing very well. They started out as a very small company, and they've gone strength to strength. And the success of the latest Fallout series would have done them no harm at all. Excuse me. They got the professional license, so they got Skyrim and Fallout.
Nice.
So yeah, they'll be doing well. I think it's all resin, which is probably the only thing letting them down at the moment. But there's not many companies that can afford to do plastic at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good stuff on there. Cool. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you read it enough and you get where you're inclined to GM it, I would be happy to jump in.
Cool. I think Mike and Northern Pete will probably be interested as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is that our gaming group, because it is all made up of adults, and I use the word in inverted commas, bunny ears, mature adults. We all have commitments. I have less commitments than everybody else because I decided not to breed, which is probably one of my best fucking moves because I don't think the planet could handle it. But everybody else has commitments and jobs and sprogs to look after. So, if we can get people. Well, no, what I'm saying is it's just very difficult for people to get away to go somewhere.
Yeah,
but doing an online RPG over Discord or something probably quite doable.
Not too bad. Yeah, and there's other websites and stuff that the good thing is when you order stuff through from Free League, you often also get like the PDF version for free. They email it through to you.
Okay, yeah.
And you can go on to, I don't think it's Foundry. There's another RPG focused website that they send you through codes for. So you just create an account there, plug the code in, and it goes, you have got a discount for this. Here's the PDF for free. And it goes, pew. And there's another website called Foundry, which is for actually doing tabletop RPGs online. So all the players kind of log into that, and they have access to like a map and stuff that the GM can put stuff on and move stuff around and things like that.
The thing I've never understood really with doing it online would be dice rolls. Like obviously we trust our dudes and everything, but if you're playing with randoms and stuff, you never know if they're just fluffing dice rolls. I mean, it'd probably become a little bit suspect after they roll the 5th natural 20 in a row. But
but I think the thing is with Foundry, all the dice rolls and stuff are just randomly generated.
Oh right, so it's done electronically. You see, the problem I have there is that a computer cannot technically randomly generate a dice roll. But
not to the same extent. Yeah, I mean, like the Free League stuff's all D6 based anyway.
Oh really?
So from what I can gather from rolling through it is you kind of it's for the Versen stuff, which is the one that I'm the most familiar with, is that you create a character for it, and there's kind of like 3 age brackets of characters, and what the younger characters lack in experience, they kind of make up for in vigor and vitality and skill.
Yep.
So there's a bit of a crossover. So if you go in the middle, you'll have a guy who's got decent stats because he's still not too old, and he'll have like a decent level. He'll have like a decent level of experience for skills as well. Whereas if you go for like an older person, then their stat line will be a little bit more pony, but their skills will be better than a younger person because obviously they've had more time to hone them.
Yes.
And generally, I think with Free League is when you've got like a stat and they say something like, "I'll roll perception," and you've got like a perception of like 5, you roll 5d6, and any 6s are a win basically. So you need at least 1 6.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's pretty straightforward. Like there's no d20s and stuff like that in it. It's literally just d6s, and you just roll handfuls of them and see if you succeed or not.
Okay.
So it's quite straightforward, but there's a lot of work that goes into being a GM and stuff, and I'm kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I want the thing is I want to do it, but I don't want to GM for my first one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you want to see how it goes first, rather than
kind of. I just kind of feel like a GM should be somebody who's at least experienced in RPG once.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like maybe Dan Gunn or something. I know he's done RPGs.
Yes,
if he's interested in running it. Because as you say, there is a lot of commitment, but more than that, I do think you need experience. You know, I don't think I could jump into running an RPG like I used to run games of Warhammer 40,000.
Well, no, because you've got
GW.
I think it's quite a different animal. Like you've got a craft, because like from what I can gather is like you get like scenarios like in the books, and there'll be like several. And they'll also have like Versen, because it's basically set in kind of like a slightly alternative Scandinavia 19th century, where the kind of the spiritual animals and things from myths and legends of stuff are just
like aliens for a moment.
No. Well, I'm more familiar with Versen because I've read through more of those books. I had them longer, and it's kind of. Jesus Christ! Come on, get your brain in gear. They and like all the monsters and spirits and creatures and stuff from myths and legends are just starting to fade from the world because of industrialization, and religion are kind of creeping in, and it's all becoming slightly more modern, and it makes them all very cranky that they're no longer getting the respect that they feel that they deserve or treated right, or even
American gods kind of feel where the old gods are getting replaced by the new gods.
Yes,
the new gods are stupid things like television and stuff like that.
Yeah, but these ones are literal things like fairies and trolls and and the neck and a bunch of other weirder stuff which I'd never heard of before. And so
the neck showed up in Dungeon Tax. No, not Dungeon Tax. Village Tax.
The neck, really?
I think so. Are
you sure?
I think so.
I'll have to double check that because
I didn't get all the expansions, but I know there's it covered an awful lot of creatures.
yeah,
If it's not that,
I got all the expansions. I should know
it's
that.
not that. It's in the. If it's not that, it's in The Witcher. I've seen it.
It might be The Witcher. Like the next kind of like a little green dude who plays an instrument like a violin, and he kind of he bewitches people with it and stuff like that.
Village attacks, so I'll probably go with The Witcher then.
Yeah. Yeah, so so you kind of get like a scenario, and it kind of gives you like a Vaesen to work with that within that, and combat in Vaesen at least is kind of like a last resort because you're attacking what is essentially like an earth spirit or a monster or something.
Yeah,
it's gonna absolutely beat the shit out of you because it's a lot more powerful than you are. So there's usually other ways of trying to get around that and avoiding the conflict. So you kind of have to use your brain a little bit more than actually directly confronting stuff with fisticuffs.
one can hit it with your sword, or B, can sneak around it.
Yeah, well, seeing as it's 19th century, there's not really a great deal of swords and stuff or weaponry at all. I mean, depending on whether you decided to be like an army officer or a cleric or
Make me think of
like a priest or a
the
teacher.
Borderlands expansion, Tiny Tima's attack on something keep, where she's running an RPG and she's got this guy called Brick. And Brick's just basically a great big fucking bruiser, like a bull-headed bruiser every single time. It's like the magical unicorn appears in front of you. do you hit it or do you try and ride it? I hit it every single time.
It's just like
Which reminds me of the time I played Skyrim and I found a magical unicorn and I tried to pet it and I ended up hitting it instead. And then my chased me across the entire of Cyrodiil. No matter where I went, this unicorn was fucking determined to kill me. It came up the stairs, so I'd go into a keep and go right up to the fucking top level of the keep going, you can't get me. Fucking, there's nowhere to be seen. I look behind me, the fucker's coming up the stairs to get me. I went into a river to try and run away from it. And this wasn't Skyrim, this was Oblivion. So it's just after you start Oblivion, after the Emperor's been murdered, and you come out of the sewers.
Oh, spoilers.
It's like a 12-year-old game. I think we'll be okay. Actually, no, more than that. Because fucking Skyrim's 10 years old at least.
I find it hard to believe, but yeah.
It is, yeah. With Patrick Stewart voicing the Emperor.
That's right, I remember that from Oblivion.
Yes, and so you come out of the sewers, you pick a direction, and whatever direction I picked, eventually I came across a unicorn. So I managed to get a rusty sword, and I tried to pet it, and I hit it, and it chased me forever. And I hid in the river. I thought, if I just hide this river, then like it won't come after me. It'll be fine. It just stood by the riverbank going, I'm fucking waiting, mate. And if I went out the other side of the river, I'd be like, you have to find a bridge. No, 5 minutes later, he'd fucking find me. I do not know what I did, but this unicorn wanted me dead. I had to restart the game. I had to restart the game because this murderous unicorn. And the funny thing is, I never found it again.
The funny thing is, like, there's a unicorn in one of the the DC TV shows that we used to watch. I think it's Some Things of Tomorrow. Oh crap! I can't remember the title, but it was quite funny. It was kind of like a ship full of sort of almost heroes that used to travel through time and have to fix like anomalies and things like that, which was kind of good. Legends of Tomorrow, I think it was.
That rings a bell.
And there's a bit in that where there's just like a normal guy with glasses called Gary who basically follows them around and tries to help them out. And they end up in some weird foresty place somewhere, and he goes up to like this unicorn that's there, and they're like, "No, don't!" And it goes to pet it, and it just does its nut and bites his nipple off. It turns out it's like an absolutely bloodthirsty unicorn. It runs on blood, and he just enrages it by going near it, and they're just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And the whole episode is them trying to deal with it.
That sounds like this one from Oblivion, to be honest. Yeah, they're apparently remastering it, so I'll definitely play it if it gets remastered. But if you try and play the original version, now it's a little bit
funky,
little bit janky. Yeah, because I loved Oblivion. I think in some ways I preferred Oblivion to Skyrim.
Good lord.
Some would say it's heresy, but I didn't like Morrowind very much, and I didn't play Daggerfall, so
no.
I went back to try and play some of the Dungeons and Dragons RPGs, and I found those really hard going as well, like the original Baldur's Gate and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I remember Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 from the Amiga. Was it Amiga or was it PC?
Quite far in Baldur's Gate 2, in between Baldur's Gate, but it got to the stage where it was like, oh, you've got to go and deal with the thief guild, and it's like you've got to go and do this and make sure you don't do this, and you've got to do this, and I was just like, I can't be fucked. I'll go around and hit things in forests with swords and level up. So I might go back to it. I'll try to play Neverwinter Nights. Got totally fucking stuck on that. That's nails.
I remember that as well.
Played
So what, Icewind Dale?
Icewind Dale, yeah. Icewind Dale, yeah. And I'm playing that at the moment, and that's all right. It's not bad. But Neverwinter Nights was ridiculous. I really enjoyed it at first. I've just got this bit, and like, I've portaled to like, gone through a door. So I've gone through a door to like the final section, and this guy is just absolutely kicking the shit out of me, this boss. So clearly I need to go and level up, but I can't go back. And my last save is a long time ago.
Yeah, dull.
So
that's gonna suck.
Yeah, you think I'd learn that lesson, but I never do. Like, it's worse. Mate, the worst one was on fucking Subnautica. I'm playing Subnautica Frozen.
So good. Below Zero.
Below Zero, because I never completed that one, and I'm stuck on it now. Very stuck on it. And the amount of times it would crash on me because it's running on the poor Switch, and then it would fucking crash, and I'd be like, shit, how much gameplay have I just lost? Oh, 6 hours. Lovely.
Delightful.
Going back and rebuilding my base and all my upgrades again, I guess. So, yeah. I'm stuck on Below Zero. I have no idea what to do next. Absolutely no idea.
Well, I've got that as well, so we can discuss it in a bit if you want. See if I know.
Yeah, maybe. It's not. I mean, to be fair, people say they enjoy our divergences. So we have diverged plenty. But yes, maybe we'll keep that for off podcast for now. And I think we can probably wrap it up around that. I think we've delivered for an hour and 45 minutes about a great variety of things actually. So GW Dataslate, Armada, Sophie and James, RPGs, Trench Crusade. I think that's good value for the no money that our subscribers are paying.
They don't pay, yeah.
So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed our bliverings. We'll get this up some point soon. I can do the UKGE one now, so that's 29. You're going to audio edit 30.
Yeah, do that.
This is 31. So
I'll probably do it Wednesday.
You said that last week.
Yeah, I know, but I'll actually do it this time.
Cool. All right, then. Well, we'll let you guys go. Hope you enjoyed this, and like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And
doing it last time was kind of compounded because I had like a Microsoft Azure exam to do literally last Wednesday, and I passed that, so that was all good.
At least you passed.
Yeah.
What would be really bad if you didn't do the editing and failed. Like that.
Yeah, that would have sucked. I did surprisingly well actually at that one. So
good, excellent. All right, then, we'll go for now, and we'll see you guys again soon. Bye.
Will do. Cheerio.